Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my live. I am Queen Lillie, and we are discussing life under Trump. We're going to discuss Donald Trump's cabinet, um, the Epstein files, different levels of Epstein's life, how they caught him. We're going to talk about some of the charitable things that Bruce Springsteen is doing. Um, We're going to be discussing even things when Donald Trump was on Epstein's private jet with him. Thank you for coming to my live. Hit that like button as you all are coming in. Let me know you can hear me, please. Also, if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super stickers and super chats. And in my description is my Venmo and my PayPal link. So if you want to support me in that way, give me some love. Thank you. You can do it that way as well. We're going to talk about Trump with his poor grammar. He wrote a letter to Japan. Yes, Donald Trump wrote a letter to Japan, and it was so many errors in this letter. I don't know why he didn't allow his press secretary or someone else to write the letter, because we know that Donald Trump isn't that bright and he can't spell properly, so his grammar is horrible. So I will show y'all that. Hello, Queen Sweet Lady. Let's eat. How you doing, beautiful? Hello, King LaSwan. Hello, King Allen. Hello, Lady Wise. How you doing, beautiful queen? How y'all doing, my beautiful kings and queens? But we have a lot to cover. We're going to go from different areas of things that's going on in the world, and we're really going to focus in on the Epstein situation, okay? So I'm not going to waste a minute of time. We're going to go ahead and get started. But we're going to start first with the internet mocks Trump's poor grammar in a letter to Japan. And this is from Carrier Newsroom. Everything I show you is fair use, educational purpose, and great research purposes as well, and entertainment. So I'm going to show you, then I'm going to read it to you, okay? So this is what it's talking about. Oh, Donnie boy. He wrote a letter to Japan, y'all. And when I tell y'all the grammar is horrible, I'm going to show you the letter one moment, okay? Thank you for coming to my live. Hit the like button, please. So this is the letter that Donald Trump wrote from the White House letterhead paper to Japan. The prime minister, he wrote it to the prime minister of Japan, y'all. Hold up, wait a minute. I got something for you. I'm going to show you. You're going to laugh. It's so many grammar errors, y'all. It is an embarrassment. Every day, Donald Trump is embarrassing the United States of America. So this is the letter, you all, that Donald Trump wrote to Japan, the prime minister. He just as bad as his Secretary of Education. Remember, she wrote a letter to Harvard University? Y'all, this is so embarrassing. America is looking so bad. Donald Trump has our country looking illiterate. He has our country looking like a third world country. We was once the richest, smartest country. But right now we are looked down on because of Donald J. Trump. Yes, Donald Trump wrote this letter to the Prime Minister of Japan. So many grammar errors. America looks dumb right now. We have never looked this dumb ever. Ever, y'all. And America just had a birthday on 4th of July. Y'all, Jesus be a wheel in the vessel. It says Trump getting slammed on the internet for his poor grammar. I'm going to show you again this letter he wrote to Japan Prime Minister. Y'all, I don't even have the money he has, and I know how to write a better letter to a prime minister than he does, and I'm not even in politics. Look at this letter. This is embarrassing. Donald Trump, why would you do this to America and shame us so poorly with this grammar letter that's just not making any sense? Japan is making fun of America right now because of Donald J. Trump. Pump the brakes, Trump. Go get some schooling while you're in that White House. It's not too late. You are never too late for education. And all he did was give the lady that's in the Department of Education the job because she's a billionaire. She can't even help Trump because she wrote a letter to Harvard University with grammar that was poor like his. America, we in trouble. We better do something quickly. We have been shamed so much because of this Oval Office buffoonery. Hold on. We're going to get to the Epstein stuff in a minute, but I have other news that we need to cover. And we need to celebrate Bruce Springsteen because when Donald Trump didn't step in to help Texas, he did. He's paying the funeral expenses, all of the funeral expenses, compensation for the family of the victims of the devastating Texas floods. Bruce Springsteen has stepped in. Who did not step in? Donald Trump. Who did not step in? DHS nor FEMA. FEMA, Donald Trump, DHS did not step in to help Texas. This is where our country is right now. It is in such a bad place. Even we ain't even top level when it comes to demographics or anything anymore. Donald Trump has made our country have such a low grade. Texas is in shambles right now. And where is Donald Trump? Sitting somewhere eating cheeseburgers, somewhere playing golf. The day that it happened in Texas, when the floods happened, you all, Donald Trump was playing golf and eating ice cream. I guarantee those children that are missing in that flood or that was harmed in the flood wish that they could be eating ice cream instead of being in a flood. But Donald Trump has no conscience. You cannot expect anything from a reprobated mind. God does not hear a reprobated mind. America, we in danger, girl. One moment. So I'm going to show y'all something. Well, I showed it at the end because I put the show it at the end. But something that's so disrespectful in this, so distasteful. Again, another embarrassing moment for the United States of America. This is not a reality show, Christy Noam.
I've never been this angry and sad. Not that
Look,
our
you
United
guys.
States government would post a picture like this to its official social media account championing cruelty like we're first century Rome or something. But I'm angry and I'm shocked and everything else I could be that a single Christian person in this nation would still be standing behind this sick and sadistic man. This kind of cruelty and sport, it's not just beyond Christian, it's beyond human. And whether or not Trump is the Antichrist, I don't know. But I do know this. He is dragging y'all straight to hell with him. I've never been this angry and sad. Not that our United States government...
Human lives don't matter. In this country, we have learned that brown lives doesn't matter. Black lives doesn't matter. In Donald Trump's eyes and in the cabinet of his pick, the only lives that matter are white lives. Why would you take a photo with alligators with ice hats on them, knowing you have started alligator Alcatraz? You tell me you have the funding to build alligator Alcatraz, but you don't have the funding to help the homeless. If you can build that many buildings filled with hundreds and hundreds and thousands of beds, you can give that place to the homeless to have a place to live and feed them. But because God does not like ugliness from this cabinet and Donald Trump, alligator Alcatraz is flooded out right now. Yes, it is completely flooded out because God don't like ugly. And Donald Trump is not a Christian. He told you guys himself that he is not a Christian. He said from his thin paper lips, he is not a Christian. But MAGA thinks so because this man sells him a Bible. You got to remember, Satan was once an angel too. Stop drinking the snake oil, please. Stop.
News right now, Donald Trump is getting ridiculed all over the internet for praising the Liberian president's English during a meeting yesterday with African leaders. Trump was praising the president of Liberia for speaking such good English. Trump didn't realize that English is actually the official language of Liberia. And several Liberian advocates are extremely upset about the remarks. Liberia was founded back in 1822. It was founded by the American Colonization Society with the goal to resettle slaves in Africa. The country declared independence in 1847, and English became the official language of Liberia. And according to CNN, several advocates are extremely upset right now. One, a Liberian youth advocate, said, "I feel insulted because our country is an English-speaking country." For him to ask that question, him referring to Donald Trump, I don't see it as a compliment. I feel that the US president and people in the West still see Africans as people in villages who are not educated. Trump's comment fully was, "Such good English. It's beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?" Spread the word so more people know, and follow along for all the news you need to know about. But we have some news right now.
Donald Trump continues to insult darker skinned people. Donnie, that is their language that they speak. Official language. They speak English. What else can we tell you, Donnie? That lets you know Donnie boy is not well traveled like you think. And the education does matter. But when he said those things to the African leader, he is educated. Donald Trump is not. Donald Trump is a con man that's been conning for many years since he was young. Even as a student in school, he has been a con man. Insulting people's intelligence.
Huge breaking news right now. A federal judge has just blocked Donald Trump's birthright citizenship executive order nationwide.
Hit the like button, beautiful ones.
Remember, the Supreme Court blocked nationwide injunctions, but didn't block nationwide class certification. And that's exactly what happened just minutes ago. A federal judge in New Hampshire certified a class of all babies born after February, I believe it's 18th or 19th, when the executive order redefining birthright citizenship took effect. Certified the class. He's going to issue an order soon, and that means that any and all children born in the United States to two undocumented parents after February 18th, well, they will not be subject to the birthright citizenship executive order, at least not now. The DOJ cannot enforce. The Trump administration cannot strip their citizenship yet. So even though the Supreme Court blocked the nationwide injunctions, they didn't block this other avenue, and right now the executive order is paused once again. And yes, the Trump administration has to follow it. Spread the word and follow them for more.
The judge has been telling them to follow a lot of things, and Donnie has not been following it. Donnie breaks the law daily, in my opinion. He doesn't care about the Constitution, which MAGA always saying, well, the Constitution and this. No, Donnie does not follow the rules of the Constitution. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about anybody. When will you get it in your head, MAGA? He doesn't care about you. You. So right now, the Dems are becoming vicious. They're tired. They're fighting back. They feel they don't have any power right now because they don't have the House nor the Senate, nor have a Dem in the Oval Office. So what are they doing? They starting to play back the way that Donald Trump plays, dirty. And you got to get dirty sometimes with your enemy. Donald Trump is the enemy within. Who's the enemy within? Donald J. Trump. So you got to go down and stomp him on his toes a couple times.
Will have certainty on
look, y'all,
within some window over the coming quarters. Our negotiations
Taco Man.
with all countries seek to bring fairness. Many of them are coming to us with unimaginably good trade deals. Then the U.S. economy can realize its full potential. We will
see, the Dems are so frustrated because you know how usually when they're saying something during the congressional meetings at the state capitol, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she would say something off the wall to Jasmine Crockett. Well, you don't have to play fair anymore, you guys. You have to play by your own rules. You sometimes got to go to their level, but you got to stomp their toes real hard when you do it so they can remember you came down there to their level. But me, what I like to say I would do, I'm going to stop because YouTube one time removed the video because I said this. I'm a little bit more vicious than that, okay? But anyway, you saw that one of the Dems was sitting there eating a taco. He was actually eating that taco. And what he's doing, he's making fun of the taco man, Donald Trump. Can't even say his name right because I don't like him. Donald J. Trump. Trump always chicken out. Whew. So we're going to watch a video right now, and it is titled Burning It Down, talking about Donald Trump. Trump loses it as MAGA burns all down. We're going to watch some of it. We won't watch the complete video, and this is by Midas Touch Network because we don't have the time to watch the entire video. But Midas Touch does an amazing job with their research. They are attorneys, and I love watching them daily. Just a moment, please. How y'all doing out there today in YouTube world? I hope you're doing very well. Hit that like button for me. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats. Also in my description, there's my Venmo and PayPal link. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my live. You are valued and you are appreciated. Just a moment.
Place. You know, Rasmussen, the Pole that Donald Trump loves, he loves citing Rasmussen. Here's what Rasmussen said yesterday. The Republican Party is going into a mutiny. It's just a matter of when it's going to take place. You have people, MAGA influencers, posting this. The Epstein list will never be released. There will be no arrest. There will be no accountability. There will be no justice. That is how I and so many others feel right now. We've been had. Elon Musk goes, yep, that is right. You have people posting, burn your MAGA hats over and over again. You know, this is what happens with Donald Trump and all of these Ponzi schemes. Eventually, the people who are being had, they figure it out. Also, Elon Musk is basically unfollowing now every MAGA account at once. That going on. You have Gunther Eagleman, a big right-wing MAGA
Hit the like button, please.
Says, so wait a minute, Donald Trump is going after James
Thank you.
Comey.
Hit the like button, everybody.
Goes, is the Comey investigation a distraction from the Epstein files? And then Cat Turd, one of the big right-wing influencers, is like, what the F are you doing? Did you not get our talking points? What the F are you doing, man? And while all of this is going on, as I've said before, there's also just an issue of basic freaking competence. Kristi Noem, what a vile piece of trash.
Yes.
And I know you get angry.
She's very vile.
Go, hey, Ben, you know, don't do the name calling. Sorry, sometimes.
Do it, Ben.
Noem didn't authorize FEMA's deployment of urban search and rescue teams until Monday in the Kerr County region in Texas, more than 72 hours after the flooding began, multiple sources told CNN. You see, what happened is, as they were eliminating FEMA and gutting all of these agencies like NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, and NWS, the National Weather Service, one of the things that Noem did is there was any expenditure over $100,000, it needed her personal signature. So the people at FEMA said they were ready with the supplies, with the urban search and rescue equipment, with the swift boats, with all of the things that they needed. And she would not sign off on it. You know what she was doing all night on Sunday? She was posting photos of herself on Instagram and polling people which should be her governor's portrait. The Blondie photo, the cowgirl photo, which one do people like the best right there? And it's why it makes me so utterly angry. And as they give us more fake stats from the Trump regime, like what was the latest one from the Labor Department? 100% of new jobs all come from Americans, 100%. There's no non-American jobs that have been created. What the hell are they talking about? Remember when I showed you that 33,000 jobs were lost last month, according to the ADP private payroll data? But miraculously, when you added government jobs, which the Trump regime says they were cutting, all of a sudden the Trump regime stats from their Commerce and Labor Department said 147,000 jobs were created. Interesting that it would have the number 47 in it, and all of these government jobs and teaching jobs were the reason that there was all of this growth, and not from the private sector. Do you believe anything coming out of this regime right now? And as I said at the outset, MAGA's waking up, burning their MAGA hats. One of the things we learned as well is that Amazon's first day traffic for Amazon Prime Day is down 41% right now. Online shopping is seeing its overall biggest slowdown in over a decade as tariffs disrupt e-commerce. And you may be saying, but that's different, Ben, than what Donald Trump and the regime are saying. Isn't it interesting when the data comes from third-party independent sources?
Donald Trump is lying to the American people.
And the data, it's
that's
one
what's
thing,
happening.
but when the Trump regime reports it, it's another thing. So what all of these groups, is it's a massive conspiracy taking place where all these different groups, ADP and all these groups that take all this other data, they're lying. Why? They're the deep state that's trying to go after Trump, or maybe the guy who's lied his entire life, who's been found civilly liable for fraud, who's bankrupted multiple business, who is an actual felon.
Donald Trump filed
bankruptcy 6 times. Who is a
times.
sexual abuser found liable for such, who brags about sexually assaulting women because he's rich and gets away with it. Maybe that's the bad guy in all this. Maybe there's a common thread. MAGA people who are burning your freaking hats right now. Donald Trump held a disastrous, weird meeting with 5 African leaders, and he was asked a question. Sir, can you explain how you calculate your tariffs? What you just did a tariff against Brazil for 50% because you want them to release Jair Bolsonaro, who launched a coup against Brazil, and you're claiming that there's a deficit with Brazil when there was a surplus over the past 10 to 15 years with Brazil. 25 or 30% with the Sultan.
Now he's gonna put tariffs on Brazil, y'all.
Where are you getting these numbers from, Donald? How are you coming up with them? He goes, it's just like common sense, man. It's like common sense. Here, play this clip.
Sir, can you explain how you calculated your latest round of tariffs? Was there a formula that was used? And do you expect any of these countries to face tariffs as well?
The formula was a formula based on common sense,
He's pulling this from his ASS.
Based on how we've been treated over the years, and based on raw numbers. And we're going to have a couple of more coming out today. Brazil, as an example, has been not good to us, not good at all. We're going to be releasing Brazil.
What he mad he can't touch the Brazilian women?
But they're based on very, very substantial facts and also past history. You look at the past history. We never had anybody in the White House that understood the numbers or were into it like I have. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, hundreds of billions, and we haven't even started yet.
Really common sense, as the Homeland Security Department is posting memes like this. Just think about that. This is from the official Homeland Security account. Fire up the deportation planes, and it is a skeleton that is bench pressing or lifting. My body is a machine that turns ICE funding into mass deportations. Funny, man. You're disappearing off the streets. What a funny freaking joke. What a nutcase, lunatic, fascist regime that we have right there. Look, you have MAGA Republican Senator Tom Tillis calling out the regime. A little late, Tom Tillis. And Tom Tillis explains that he voted against the disastrous budget bill. He's the senator from North Carolina. Trump started attacking him, and he's like, I'm not going to put up with this bullshit. Well, you put up with this bullshit, Tom Tillis, for a pretty long time and screwed a lot of us over. Here, play this clip.
And I've probably done it more than many. Every time I'm very frank with him, but he has never been untoward, never raised his voice.
He just goes on social media and does it.
Yeah, well, that's the first time he ever did. And so after
that's a lie.
After I told the president that he's clearly got the votes, that I will try and work to get something done in the House. He didn't need my vote, and that I would be respectful and quiet and try to do my work on the House side. And then I got that text that I texted him, or I saw I'd never read it, but I saw like the first sentence. I told the president in another text, I said, now it's time to start looking for my replacement because I don't deal with that kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And what did he say to that?
He texted back, I am. And I think subsequent to that, he started taking interviews. He needs to, because it's going to be a tough race in North Carolina. We got to get a good candidate. And I'm committed to helping the president get that candidate elected. If it's not, let's say, a handful.
Well, I got news for you, honey. All the Republicans will be voted out of their seats. 2026. The American people are tired, and we're not going to just lay down anymore and take it. We ain't like Diddy. Take that, take that. No, we're not. Trump is like Diddy. Trump is like Epstein. But we, the American people, we're not like Diddy. We ain't taking it. We ain't taking it. Take that, nothing. We ain't taking it anymore. So next year, 2026, we will vote the Republican Party out of the House, out of the Senate, and if God's will, some kind of way, he get rid of J.D. Vance and Donald J. Trump. I'm going to show y'all something. And it ain't really part of the arrogancy of me, but it's the truth. Do you know Black women don't get enough credit when they are the most educated ones in this country? Watch out now. Hold on.
We did this video yesterday where this guy was claiming that Ketanji Brown Jackson was actually a DEI hire. So I used Elon Musk's AI to compare all 9 Supreme Court justices. And it turned out when the AI weighed all of their credentials,
listen carefully,
it was actually Clarence Thomas that was the DEI hire. But I got this comment today from Marv Early that said, you should compare Jasmine Crockett to Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. And I said, that's a good idea, so let's do it. And here we are back at Elon Musk's AI, and I typed in, can you compare the credentials of Congresswomen Jasmine Crockett, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert before they entered Congress? I'd like to know who was the most qualified to hold a position like this in the House of Representatives. Compare their education, life experience, as well as any experience that may help them as they participate in a body that writes the laws of this country and also holds people accountable that are called in front of their committees. Can you rank them 1 through 3 and also give them a score between 0 and 100, with 0 being the least qualified candidate and 100 being the most qualified? And as you can see, there is my prompt, and here is the reply. And as you see here in Jasmine Crockett's education section, we can see that she has a BA in Business Administration from Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee, and a Juris Doctor from the University of Houston Law Center. Then she was a public defender, a civil rights and criminal defense attorney, and was a member of the Texas House of Representatives. And as you can see, if we look at the same credentials under Marjorie Taylor Greene, under education, we can see that she has a bachelor's degree from the University of Georgia, but no higher degree than that. And under professional experience, she was a business owner of a construction company with her husband, but she didn't have any prior elected office experience. And finally, if we look at those same credentials under Lauren Boebert, we can see that she had no college degree, but did get her GED just before she ran for Congress.
In 2020.
And in professional experience, she was a business owner of a bar called Shooter's Grill in Rifle, Colorado. But again, she had no prior elected office experience before running for Congress. And as you can see,
Marjorie Taylor Greene
scores, it weighed education at 25%, professional experience at 35%, life experience at 20%, and relevance to congressional duties at 20%. And it gave Jasmine Crockett an overall score of 90 out of 100, then gave Marjorie Taylor Greene a score of 45 out of 100. And finally, Lauren Boebert got an overall score of 35 out of 100, which means if you added up these two, 45 and 35, you'd get 80 out of 100, which is still below Jasmine Crockett's score by herself. All right, so I did this video yesterday where this guy was claiming.
So stop saying Black people are DEI when everybody that's Black in Congress is more educated than their white constituents. Stop playing in Black women's faces. We are the most educated in this country. Stop disrespecting Black people and calling us welfare queens when we are not welfare queens. You need to talk to your other clear people. They are welfare people. Hit that like button. This country will only survive if Trump and J.D. Vance leave the Oval Office.
And Trump is trying to bring the country together like he said he would do. Wait a second. He's trying to bring the country together. How would he go about
I love this woman.
Resign. If he really wants to bring the country together, all he has to do is resign and take his, what do you call him, with him.
She's talking about J.D. Vance.
The vice president. That would bring the country together. But right now, the only way he can bring the country together is put somebody else in the president's office. He does not know how to be a president. He does not know what legislation is about. He does not know how to do this job.
President Trump is
listen again. I'm going to let you listen again.
Wait a second. He's trying to bring the country together.
Jane don't play.
Resign. If he really wants to bring the country together, all he has to do is resign and take his, what do you call him, with him? The second in command, the vice president. That would bring the country together. But right now, the only way he can bring the country together is with somebody else in the president's office. He does not know how to be a president. He does not know what legislation is about. He does not know how to do this job.
President Trump.
When I tell you Jane will read you down, you ain't, honey, you ain't ready for Miss Jane. We love her. She gonna tell the truth.
Resign.
And I'm gonna tell you, this woman has been targeted for telling the truth. One moment, we're gonna get on over to the Epstein situation. So this is what Game Tech has to say. I'm gonna show you what he says, then I'm gonna read it to you, okay? This is Game Tech and how he feels about Donald Trump. Game Tech from Twitter X says he said Epstein was arrested on Trump's watch. Unalive under Trump's watch. And the cover up on Trump's watch. So who is to blame for Epstein being bye-bye? Who? Again, I'm going to read it to you. Epstein was arrested on Donald J. Trump's watch. He was unalive under Donald Trump's watch. And the cover on Trump's watch. Donnie, this has your hands, your handprints, everything of you all over it. Just like that flight log I showed y'all yesterday. Just a moment. I'm going to show you something else, a little bit more about Epstein's brother, because I showed you a video yesterday, but I'm going to show you something right quickly, okay? That has to do with Epstein's brother.
But Mark, for you, it's personal. This was your brother, and just so everybody knows, Mark wasn't part of anything that his brother was doing in this regard. He's never been. The Trump administration is putting out about your brother now. Why?
Well, every time they say something or do something to try to quash the fact that he was most likely murdered, they just put their foot further down their mouth. I mean, for instance, here's Patel in the congressional hearing. He listed his credentials as a prosecutor and other such things, and he said that it was a suicide. He said, you know a suicide when you see it. That's basically what he said. So the questions that popped into my mind was, first of all, number one, how many suicides has he seen? Number one. Two, is he a forensic pathologist? Does he have a medical degree? Does he have
Trump had people to go in that does not have a medical degree and just say that Epstein took himself out. His brother is not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, and I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You can't fool me, Donnie. I see you and I even smell you, and that ain't good. One moment, please.
We are live. All right. Very good. Very good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, so I don't know if you've noticed are having a shit fit hissy pants meltdown of the highest degree. Now, ordinarily today we would be talking about the flood. I wrote a piece about it this morning. It's on the free side. I hope you take a look at it. About the horrible death toll. And I want to take a moment before we get into this more lightweight stuff to just say how much we're praying for the families in Texas and thinking about the folks there that have suffered so much. And look, it's a red state, voted for Donald Trump several thousand times.
He's going to get to the Epstein part in just a moment, okay?
These floods are killing people.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to my live. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. CC Life, thank you.
Are suffering unimaginably. And
wear your crown proudly, baby. Wear it proudly.
He would have taken responsibility today Unlike that lying shitbag Caroline Leavitt who said, "Oh no, he had nothing to do. The National Weather Service was perfect," and there's a lot of blood on the hands of the Republicans right now. Doge, Russ Vought, Project 2025, and Donald Trump himself. Yep. But to move on to the amusing part that has made my ass laugh probably 25 different times today. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, three of the greatest stalwarts in the MAGA ecosystem, three of the greatest personalities on their various platforms. Pam Bondi, basically a talking head on Fox when she wasn't being a part-time Florida Attorney General. Kash Patel, professional troll. Dan Bongino, MAGA podcaster extraordinaire and animated human hamhead. All these people were the heroes of MAGA until today.
Yep.
When they all came out and said, "Oh, well, there's not really an Epstein list." You know, the Epstein list we all talked about for years and years and years and years and told you for years and years and years had all these Democratic politicians on it and their flight logs and the this and the that.
Listen carefully, beautiful people. Thank you.
Because I can find one or two pictures of Jeffrey Epstein.
Hold on, I'm gonna go down
a lot of different political folks of both parties.
Thank you, King
but
Daniel. He said when he's done with the Mexicans, the blacks are next. Literally bless your soul. I rebuke you. Bless your soul.
The one time under oath.
But you're not lying. But the thing is, we always been targeted by the clear people. Donald Trump came in winning because he was saying what he's going to do to black and brown people. Black people, we've been through it. You got to remember, y'all people made our people slaves.
Influencers into the White House.
But we're not going back.
These notebooks.
We would not go down without a fight.
Epstein secret files on the front. Guess
Thank
what?
you.
They were bullshit. They were all publicly available court filings everyone's already seen. But today, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have said, "Oh no, there was never a client list. There's no Epstein file. There's no client list. There's nothing like that. It doesn't exist." It's
Wheelo, that is something racist that they're saying, Wheelo.
Is absolutely freaking spectacular.
But I'm not necessarily saying Daniel is racist.
Tucker, Jack
and I'm not a victim, Daniel. So you want to go down that road, you're going to get your feelings hurt today.
All of these MAGA, Cernovich,
take a chill pill and go on down and down his pissy pen.
Pundit, the dumbest man in America. Look it up. You'll look up Jim Hoff, dumbest man in America. Gateway Pundit out today saying, "Well, there wasn't Epstein list because the court said we couldn't have it when we filed a Freedom of Information request." All of this amazing division inside the MAGAverse right now because they had made the Jeffrey Epstein file, client list, whatever you want to call it. They had made it a central part of their mythology for the last 10 years. And that's why, in some ways, this is worse than the existence of the actual client list. This is worse than the existence of the actual thing. Why, you ask? Because Jeffrey Epstein did know a lot of people.
He knew Donald Trump. That was his best friend.
There were a lot of people on that list. I don't care which party they're from. I don't care who screwed his prostitutes, Republican or Democrat. If they were underage women, they should all be prosecuted.
Amen.
Simple as that. But now, because there's one guy with deep, deep, deep personal ties to Jeffrey Epstein. 14 versions of Donald Trump's phone number were in Jeffrey Epstein's phone book, his call log. 14 different numbers.
Donald Trump had 14 different numbers. He would contact Epstein.
Oh, shit. What the hell?
Why did Donald Trump need 14 numbers? That's like a DRUG dealer. They always have a whole bunch of numbers. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What's up with all those different numbers, Donnie? What you thought no one would ever know? So we're going to listen to something from the past because sometimes the past got to catch up with you and reveal a lot of things. So Amy Roebuck was fired from CBS after she revealed this. Yes. See, people were getting fired from their reporting jobs because Donald Trump want to own all the news broadcasts and everything, so they won't report on him. What's really going on?
Story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air.
Virginia Roberts is one of the victims.
Jeffrey Epstein. No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us in a million different ways.
The palace is the White House at the time.
We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the plane. So she told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I was so pissed right now. Like every day I get.
They were trying to suppress us finding out.
It was what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. I had it all 3 years ago. I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with.
They suppressed her.
We would not put it on the air
because
first of all, I was told
what does a clear man in the office does?
This is a stupid story.
He will get angry and figure out how to get rid of you if he got to go to the news and tell them to fire you. He will do that. Just a moment. The rest of this live will be about Epstein, okay, you all? The rest of it is all about Epstein. Towards the end, I may show something a little different.
Would you raise your hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Would you please state your full name?
I'm Jeffrey Edward Epstein, and my residence address is 6100 Red Hook Boulevard in Virgin Islands.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
The sex crimes of millionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein are appalling.
I was unaware that I was going to be alone with him. I thought I was going to die.
This get a little dark, so you might want to leave if you don't want to hear the truth.
Trapped in his depraved web.
Start touching himself.
Tonight, the Epstein Files, the latest on who knew what in the biggest sex trafficking ring in history. His elite circle of the wealthy and powerful on notice as thousands of damning new court documents are unsealed.
And Donald Trump was in those documents.
The names of people associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
Prince Andrew and the former president Bill Clinton have been named.
More are expected to come out.
In the last few weeks, they've linked Epstein to some very famous names and exposed some very sordid details.
There are videos that exist.
We've been investigating this scandal since Jeffrey Epstein's death in 2019. This is where Jeffrey Epstein served his sentence. That he can still shock is extraordinary.
I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced.
Well, she's unalive right now.
His tentacles continue to reach from beyond the grave. Refusing to answer lawyers on the grounds he might incriminate himself, Epstein thought his own silence would protect him.
He just like
forever.
Trump, think he's the smartest one in the room.
With his death by suicide in 2019 and the jailing of his former lover and right-hand woman Ghislaine Maxwell 2 years ago, Epstein's associates may well have thought the scandal was over. But after a decade of legal wrangling, more than 150 people have been publicly identified, linked to Epstein and his sex trafficking network.
He was a brilliant manipulator.
That's Donald Trump. When she said that, that's who Trump is.
And women. He was a brilliant manipulator of powerful men.
a really heinous crime on an absolutely massive scale that was allowed to continue and continue and continue.
On my own island, I can think the thoughts I want to think. I can do the work I want to do, or I try to see fit.
That's his home. Strange looking.
Jeffrey Epstein's vast wealth gave him access to whatever he wanted. As we now know, the globe-trotting multimillionaire created a network where young women were supplied to him wherever he went.
I realize what I am. I'm very comfortable in my own
Hit the like button. Thank you.
follow my own personality.
That's his private jet that Donald Trump rides around in
All over the world, he felt
when he was
free
doing
to
his rally
abuse in the
campaign.
privacy of his various
Campaigning.
homes.
This is New York. This is Palm Beach. This is California. This is Paris. This is London. This is wherever Epstein was touching down. He needed to have girls on constant call. In every single state or every place that he goes to, he's already got people lined up and makers making that happen.
None of this would ever have seen the light of day if it wasn't for Virginia Giuffre. Her allegations of sexual abuse against Epstein, Maxwell, and famously Prince Andrew have fascinated and repulsed the world.
Thank you.
In 2015, Virginia sued Maxwell for defamation.
Thank you.
These latest documents are, in the main, sworn statements collected for that case.
It's hard. It's really hard being back here.
We met Virginia 5 years ago when she bravely returned for the first time to the Epstein mansion in Manhattan.
I was abused by people that I can't even mention here. There's a lot of scars hidden behind those walls. It should be ripped down. It should be burned to the ground. Some of my worst memories are from this place.
I continue to be shocked by just how awful this story is. The damage that was done to these women is incredibly hard to even express. This has been completely life-altering for them. It's incredibly unfair that this was allowed to happen with impunity for so long.
Lucia Osborne Crowley is a journalist and author who has long covered the Epstein case. She believes the significance of the new Epstein files can't be overstated.
It's really important that we understand the difference between having these allegations swirl around and seeing that people were willing to swear to them under penalty of perjury. It's an incredibly hard thing to do, and they were all willing to do it and to swear to the truth of it.
Lucia also had a front row seat when victims testified against Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell when she was convicted for sex trafficking in 2022.
A lot of what Jeffrey Epstein got away with, he wouldn't have been able to do without her helping to recruit, groom, and entice.
Okay, I have more videos to show y'all, so I'm gonna have to speed it up. Hold on, let's see. Because I have so much to show you guys today.
So I wasn't quite sure if there was an investigation or if you guys had any word.
It's participating as well.
You want to take a moment?
I'm okay.
I'm okay. So you were abused by both of them in your very first encounter?
Yeah, both of them. I was abused by Ghislaine and Epstein. I don't mean to sound sexist in any way, shape, or form, but yeah, I think that's what hurts the most.
We're gonna go to the next video, y'all, because I have so much I have to show y'all. Hold on just a moment. Thank you for coming to my live. Just a moment. I have so much to show you guys. I don't know if I showed y'all this yet, but I will find out. I can't remember if I showed you this yet.
Accomplices received immunity from all federal flexible clause, granting immunity to any potential co-conspirators as well. Many believe this was meant to protect any influential men who might have had sex.
To me, what she mean by justice must still be served, the other ones that participated, for example, the client list that Pam Bundy once said was on her desk until just a couple of days ago, she decides to say that the Epstein list does not exist. It exists. It does. I showed y'all the video yesterday of Bill from Midas Touch Network telling you how you can get the list. That list exists. It's part of the FBI files. But Patel, who is part of the FBI, he is ran by Donald Trump and controlled by Donald Trump and afraid, he's chicken, afraid to go against Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump always, what is it? Trump always chicken out. Well, Kash Patel and Pam Bundy are chicken out. Because she told the American people that she has the list on her desk. Now it just poof, disappeared. Can't be found. When we all know that Donald Trump and Epstein were best friends. They hung out together. Like Donald Trump said, Epstein liked some younger. Donald Trump liked them younger too. Don't let people fool you because they're married that they don't do things. Donald Trump was married and cheated on every wife he has had. He loves those foreign wives, those foreigners, you know. He loves those immigrants. He's the felon, and he picked his immigrants. I think only one of his wives was American, born American. Donald Trump is a man that's nothing but a con man and a huge liar. He wants to pretend at first he did not know Epstein. I don't know Epstein. Who is Epstein? Oh, I don't know him when he was asked that question. But then the picture started floating around and everybody knew you were lying, Donnie. Then you had to fess up. I knew him, but we wasn't that close, you know. I heard about him. Then all of a sudden when Epstein is busted and locked up in a New York jail cell, and Donald Trump is a man that's in the Oval Office and he knows that Epstein has all his personal stuff, all his private secrets, the secrets he didn't want revealed. And he knew that Epstein would probably talk to the feds to get lesser time or to get out if he was to tell on others. The same way Diddy is locked up in New York, the same jail right now. Diddy is also friends with Donald Trump. It's amazing how birds of a feather flock together. And I truly believe that, y'all. I do. Epstein didn't do all this, just him and Giselle. They did not. No. I showed you so many photos of Donald Trump hanging out with Epstein, and there was young girls around them. Were they there for decoration? Even Donnie said at the young teen pageants, he would just bust into their rooms, dressing rooms. A good, godly man wouldn't do that. He would respect the privacy of these young girls, which he shouldn't be looking at them. He even made comments about his own daughter that was a young girl. Said if she wasn't his daughter, he would, her. And his daughter, Tiffany, he talked about her nice legs and said she hasn't developed those just yet. What decent man talk about his children in that way? His daughters are young, impressionable. Those girls that were taken advantage of by Trump, Epstein was young and impressionable. The apple don't fall far from the tree. Those two was tight. Epstein and Donald Trump were best friends for over a decade. And Epstein is gone. And Donald Trump wants y'all to shut up and stop talking about the Epstein files. It's so bad that Bundy's scared and she tells you all there's no list. Did she make up a lie while she said that? Bundy, we heard what you said, girl. You just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Bleach blonde, bad body built. We ain't trying to hear that. Stop playing in our faces. Y'all, there will be more. I'm going to keep doing my research and I'm going to keep bringing it to you. I will be live tomorrow. I will not be live this weekend, but tomorrow I will go live. I will have more stuff on Epstein and Donald Trump. So just look out for it. I see you guys tomorrow. I love you. May God continue to bless each and every last one of you. Be sure to come to my live tomorrow. I will be here. Okay? I love you. Bye.